Hey guys, it's for Games, and you are in for a treat today because the next two jobs in my run through of my favorite Final Fantasy XI artifact armor were frankly some of the favorite jobs in Final Fantasy XI. They were super popular and probably would have been even more so if not for the fact that they were also the most expensive. See, all jobs in Final Fantasy XI had their expenses: equipment, automaton attachments, spells, even food. But no one had it worse than these two, Ninja and Ranger. Ninja couldn't even use any of its spells without an associated ninja tool, including Utsuzemi. Utsuzemi was used multiple times per fight, like every fight. All ninjas and feebles and even the elemental rotation also used these tools. The tools were not cheap. We're not talking about like 5 gil from a vendor. It was like thousands and thousands of gil. That doesn't even sound that impressive when I say it. It was a lot. It was a lot. How do you say like many tens of K? I didn't even call it gil most of the time. I just call it like I have 10K. Just 10,000. Anyways, moving on. Every time shadows went down, it was just another tool. You had to burn another tool. It added up quick. It was also the largest barrier for entry for people just trying to finish it as a sub job. A lot of people didn't have a ton of money to just throw around, and leveling Ninja to 37 was kind of an expensive chore. Ranger, on the other hand, had to pay literally for every shot, with arrows and bullets costing quite a bit by the end of the game. Both were also heavily desired for parties, because in Final Fantasy XI, apparently money really can buy happiness. And I really mean that with Ranger especially, because the job was so good it was still a top tier DD even after they nerfed the shit out of his close range damage, although many never looked at it the same again. Every single arrow fired cost gil, and the better the arrows you got, the more they cost. At 75, this could mean a pretty penny every time you wanted to go like do a merit party. So obviously I avoided the shit out of leveling this job purely out of fear of running out of cash. Money was a constant struggle for me in Final Fantasy XI. I mean, hell, even the Thief's crossbow bolts left me penniless more than a few times, and you don't have to fire those that often. But all my friends wanted me to level it, and I felt like I should, because the artifact is the Hunter's gear. I'm Hunter. It was my gear. I never did it. I never leveled it. I always thought I should. And it's too bad I didn't, because Garland is the worst of the coffer locations for this one, which we've said before is kind of a pain, but not by any means the worst of the bad places. Then it's Crawler's Nest and Devoy. That's just, come on, that's not even fair. Square Enix must have felt pretty bad about the whole arrows thing, but let's see how bad and check out the Hunter set. So the gloves start off okay, with +3 dex and the enhances Shadowbind effect. The dex is essentially useless. I mean, critical hit rate is all well and good all the time, but ranged accuracy is defined by agility, not dexterity like melee accuracy is. But it enhances Shadowbind at least improved the duration of Ranger's most basic survival ability. Shadowbind bound enemies while Rangers ran away like a little bitch. Sorry, I'm a little salty about Rangers. They used to get so many party invites. But yeah, Shadowbind, what a thrill. Moving on though, we got the Beret next, which is actually a pretty cool piece of gear if you've ever seen it. It's got a little green feather. It's awesome. Which, depending on who you talk to though, was kind of pointless. I mean, +5 range attack was alright for sure, and I'm sure a lot of Rangers wore it for that alone. But the increases rapid shot was either great, useless, or annoying, depending on who you were. So here's how it goes. Rapid shot occasionally reduced ranged attack delay, randomly. And this had improved that rate by what, like 5%? But you don't know if it happened. There's no way to know. So you'd have to spam your ranged attack macro all the time just to even see this. It's not like double attack for melee jobs where it just like fires off randomly. On top of that, to make their lives easier, a lot of Rangers would do a macro to automatically fire off a range attack every few seconds at the lowest delay they could manage. I mean, tapping range attack over and over again is kind of annoying. It's not like Thief where you're just like, it just goes. You have to hit it every shot you want to fire. Doing a macro like that, you'd essentially never see the benefit, because it's never going to occasionally be like, oh, I'll just fire faster this time. I don't blame them. It was super annoying. Every single arrow, you had to click. And let's not ignore the fact, and one of the biggest complaints, that firing additional arrows more often just means you can blow through your money that much faster. I mean, Rangers were probably struggling as it is to keep up with stuff, and you're telling you gave them ability that's like, occasionally you could just fire off a few more really quick and burn through some extra gil. Like I said, it was a debated trait. People weren't really sure how they felt about it. Next up were the pants though, and they were part of that cool shorts armor that I love so much, that style, they're like poofy shorts. And they were pretty handy too, but pretty much only for swap-ins. These helped enhance Sharp Shot effect, which increased your ranged accuracy for like 1 minute out of the 5 minutes that the ability had a recast timer of. Being used once only every 5 minutes meant these were probably swapped in. I doubt they were worn full time, which is too bad because they were pretty cool looking. But at least it can be said that they were a useful piece of gear. But then we do come to an actual useful piece of gear, the jerkin. And this body piece was pretty sweet. I mean, 10's ranged accuracy is awesome no matter who you talk to. Although ranged accuracy and attack were a little easier to come by than their melee varieties. I mean, I'm not sure if there's gear I'm forgetting about for the body that's way better than this and not like kind of expensive. I mean, ranged gear was pretty unique and not exactly my forte, but I'm pretty sure I saw a lot of people wearing these in parties, and why not? Also, enhanced camouflage? I mean, yippee. Finally, the boots, though, and some unique shit that these boots were. Now, agility +4 is awesome, and probably the first chance that Rangers have had to take off those leaping boots that they've been wearing since, like, level 9. Or was it 7? Oh my god, did I just screw up the leaping boots? If they were lucky enough to own them, I mean. But the real winner here is Scavenge, enhances Scavenge. I mean, come on, this is literally a gill-saving trait just, like, on your boots. So Scavenge was changed a couple times over the years to, you know, try and, I guess, make it more effective or less effective, I don't know. Long and short of it is, though, it returns arrows spent back to your inventory. Literally just saving you about 50% of the ammunition that you spend firing off arrows. I mean, that as soon as you got it, you could be saving 50% of your ammunition. That's all the 50% of your gil spent on ammunition. That's huge. And this just enhanced that by like another 5% or something. I mean, what if Black Mage's got an ability that was like, next time you buy an auction house spell, it'll cost half as much. That's awesome. Good Rangers were a ton of fun to have in the party, and honestly the gear was usually pretty cheap because there wasn't a ton of competition for it. The real expenditure for the job was obviously the ammunition, but the rule of thumb was that if you're going to invite a Ranger to the party, there was a good chance that they were geared at least decently, and we already know how strong the job was in general. Strong range damage, you know, kept the Ranger away from AoEs, keeping your healer's MP up, and even there was an opportunity for some safe pulls, which I don't know if you guys have ever made a party and realized at the end of it, it's like you've got 3 Dragoons and a Monk, but it happens and it sucks. It was a quest in its own when building a party to remember a puller and see who could do that. And then you find that one job, like you'd find a Ranger, like a Thief, that's like perfect for pulling, and they're like, no, I'm not good, I don't want to do it. Nah. But moving on, bring on Mr. Empty Pockets job number 2, Ninja. So Ninja was super sweet, and as a little Taru, I just love the idea of running around and tanking things that couldn't hit my little ball of Taru, Katana, and Kukuri, and just like pointy ends flying everywhere. But the cost always drove me away after a few levels. I mean, you could burn through Gil on this job. So mostly I got to look from afar as my Ninja Elvon friend took it to 75. That damn dirty Elvon. It was pretty sweet though, with some of my favorite animations in the game. I mean, if you've seen Blade Coup, it's like awesome, so sweet. Stories of ninjas achieving stuff that I couldn't possibly dream of were spread all over the place. I mean, Ninja comes with a strong paralyze, blind, and slow all on its own, along with the strongest natural shadow tanking in the game, which is no surprise. They could take on stuff that would destroy most of my jobs solo. And as a decent damage dealer in their own right, they were often preferred in parties as tanks due to the decrease in healing required and the overall just increase in general killing efficiency. Sorry, Paladins, but that's how it was. That's, of course, if they could keep hate, which was a struggle sometimes for even the best ninja, but that's neither here nor there. Once level 40 and with the elemental wheel in their possession, hate wasn't as much in question for any ninja willing to throw enough gil at the problem in form of rounds after rounds of ninjutsu. But I'm getting off topic. The artifact gear. Ninja was sort of the Fenrir of artifact gear. Half of its stuff is incredible at night and like practically useless during the day. That's so weird. The pants kick off this trend at level 52 with plus 10 ranged accuracy, which was great, I guess, if we were throwing a bunch of throwing stars, which I always heard rumors were like super awesome. But who had ranged accuracy, like throwing skill leveled, and who could afford those damn throwing stars? This wasn't a thing. But the other aspect, plus 10 evasion at night. I mean, holy shit, that's awesome. The plus 10 evasion is insane for an evasion-based tanking job. That's crazy. But only at night. I mean, days in Final Fantasy XI lasted a full hour. So night either was 30 minutes if you count the full 12 hours, or like 15 minutes if it was only the dead of night period. I don't remember which one this was. Regardless, minimum half the time you're playing these pants are worthless pants, which is absolutely nothing compared to the next pair. The boots. I mean, oh my god, these boots. So that damn dirty Elvon reminded me of these boots constantly because, so, for agility. Awesome. This is great. Sure, we could probably wear these while tanking. I'm sure there are better options, but for agility seems alright. But then, plus 12% movement speed enhancing at night. This was super annoying. Plus 12% movement speed boots were some of the most expensive pieces of gear in the game. They literally allow jobs to kite and kill things previously unkite-killable. Also, if you've ever actually run anywhere with my Elvon friend, he will leave you in the dust and you won't feel bad about it. And you'll see him at your destination waving to you while you struggle to catch up with your normal, not 12% enhanced boost speed movement. Wow, that sentence came out great. I'm leaving it. We're moving on. I'm just kidding. I mean, he doesn't really do that. But we would have little races because I'd be Thief and I'd flee off first and he'd catch up with his 12% movement speed. And then our Dark Knight friend would bitch because he had nothing. He was just hanging back there with normal movement speed. It was super unique, super awesome, and I always wanted those boosts so badly. Next up, we have the Ninja Hatsuburi, though. I don't even know if I said that right. The, like, face mask, which honestly, regrettably, I hated face masks in the game. I thought they were kind of lame looking. It was like it was just lazy, and you couldn't take stuff off in this game. If you wanted to equip it, you had to wear it. So, like, I always had to stare at this stupid face mask. Regardless, it was actually pretty useful. Ninjutsu School Plus 5 is awesome. If you're casting, you know, ninjutsu. The rest of the time, this thing comes off and is replaced by, I guess, anything else. But it was pretty good as a swap-in for every time you were casting elemental wheels, the enfeebles. I don't think it affected it to semi at all, but that would have been pretty cool. But then we come to the Ninja Chainmail. This thing wasn't fair. This is not a fair piece of gear. This Super no Mimi, wow, I've never said that one out loud. The Super no Mimi is an earring that enhances dual wield. It drops off one of the hardest fights I've ever seen in the game from the end of Zillard, where you fight the 5 Zillard enemies. I can't remember the name of the fight. It's actually after, like, Zillard sort of ends. It's really crazy. One of the hardest fights I've ever done in the game. I only beat it by having, like, 14 black mages, including myself, fire off everything we had at once and hope to God it killed the thing. I've treasured that piece of gear and wear it on my earring. To this day, at level 99, it's still one of the best pieces of gear you can get. That enhances dual wield. The ninja artifact body comes with that effect. Now, it doesn't have plus accuracy, plus attack, plus strength, but it's like getting haste plus 5% on your body, almost. I'm not going to get into the argument of dual wield versus haste and the debates and everything, but this isn't fair. This is not fair. My summoner body got, like, you know, nothing. There's nothing. Ninja's got enhances dual wield. It just pisses me off looking at it. Anyways, moving on. So angry. I would say that finally the hands weren't really worth it, and, you know, where Ninja finally lost a little bit. But I don't even know if I can say that. I mean, Dex plus 3 is okay. You probably are still going to wear something like the battle gloves or, I don't know, anything else. I don't remember what Ninja was using at level 60. But throwing skill plus 5 and ranged attack plus 20 is actually awesome. The few times that you would throw a throwing star, I mean, that's some cool stuff. Range attack plus 20 is not just like lying around. Even though I said range attack is easier to find than some things, it is. Range attack plus 20 is a lot, and throwing skill plus 5 is crazy. Is this going to be game changing for Ninja? No, and it's really not a useful piece of gear for like the general Ninja use cases. But the fact that they just like throw in this amazing throwing equipment is kind of cool. I think it's cool. It would have gotten me to try out throwing some throwing stars occasionally. Oh, Ninja. Just one more way for Ninja to burn money. Anyways, guys, sorry I got so emotional during the enhances dual wield thing with the body. I actually know most ninjas didn't wear this for a while because it was still too hard in parties. You needed like the scorpion harness for the accuracy, the evasion. It was still hard to hit things. You had to hit the enemy. But if the rest of your gear fleshed out enough by the end of the game and you're still trying to, you know, get some amazing body from something else, that was a good stopgap for a while for a, you know, justifiable enhances dual wield effect on the body. I mean, solo, crazy. That's it for Ranger and Ninja, guys. Some really solid artifact for some really solid jobs. Let me know what you guys thought about these sets in the comments and some of your favorite stories about each of these jobs. I know a bunch of people are still looking for the Notorious Monster series. It's coming back, I promise, don't worry. I'm just trying to get through the artifact videos because I'm actually really enjoying talking about these because I get to talk about all the jobs. And like some of the gear is just ridiculous. Like this enhances dual wield, I still can't get over that. For anyone in the Northeast like me, how'd you make out with the snowstorm earlier this week? It wasn't as crazy as they kind of were saying it was going to be for us. We turned to freezing rain about like halfway through, which was still nasty. It was terrible for driving, but we only got like 4 to 6 inches. Anyways, thanks for sticking around till the end, and hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally think about subscribing. I've got videos coming out twice a week, and if you like this one, there's at least a chance you'll like some of the others that are very similar to this, so live dangerously. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments and other videos you'd like to see. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Huntin for Games to keep up with all the latest stuff. See ya.